Hey everybody. Hello, how are you? My name is Chris Kaminsky. I am Master Geek here at Ashevilleweb.host. Today we are going to talk about your website statistics. Now, we all have a website, all businesses do, but do you really know what your website is doing or how it's performing? And that's where your stats come in. This is important information that is helpful to make decisions on how and where to improve your website. Unlike Google Analytics and Search Console, WebStats gives you a much broader view of what's going on. Google gives you Google's view, but WebStats gives you what's actually hitting your website. But combine it with Google, it gives you a complete picture of what's going on, and all that info is very powerful. So let's go ahead and begin. And the first thing I have to do is get you there. So what I want you to do is go ahead and open your browser. And in the address bar, I want you to type yourdomain.com.net, whatever it might be, not Ashevilleweb.host, yourdomain.com / cpanel. And then go ahead and hit enter, and that will bring you to this screen. Here you'll enter your username and your password. Now this is the username and password that was assigned to you when the account was created. So if you don't have it or it's buried back on the hard drive someplace, just give us a shout and we'll be happy to get that information to you. But you enter your username, your password, you hit login, and that brings you to a screen that looks like this. You'll see two domains here. If you are taking advantage of our free security certificates, go ahead and click this one. If you're not, go ahead and click this one. If you would like one of your security certificate set up, just give us a call and we will do that for you. But if you either way, so if you don't have it, you will click on view, and that's going to bring you to the site, this page. What am I looking at, right? So this is your website statistics. This first part here is the summary for the current month up to the current date that you open this page. So what am I looking at, right? Unique visitors, that is people, first timers coming to your site, people that have never been there before. Number of visits here is return visits, bookmarks, they're tracked. So people that have been to your site before and are returning. This is the total number of pages that they looked at. This is total number of hits, cumulative, everything. Bots, visitors, unique visitors, whatever else out there is hitting your site. In this case, 4,000. This here is monthly. Now it shows you by month what your site is doing. And it's kind of good news because you can see here for a tree guy, it peaks in the spring, and then in the summertime he's cutting a lot of lawns, and then he starts in the fall, and then winter, there it goes. So this is a good idea for seeing patterns, maybe knowing when to anticipate, when to run sales or something. Just a good piece of information. This is by day of the month. It's a service business, so you can see that he's usually quiet on the weekends, but not so much so. Civilians use him, but you can see how his pattern goes. It's pretty standard. Now this is good to use for timing for your marketing also, because it kind of gives you, where your high and low spots are. This is days of the week, so it kind of gives you what's going on per day. And this is hours. Now this is kind of interesting, and there's two ways. You combine this with days of the week, and you can see when you get your peak traffic, and that's you can use that for timing when to release things to your website. For those of you that release things to your website at times of most possible traffic and views. So you would combine that with days, and that would give you a good idea. So you know you get hit on this day the most or this day the most, and it's usually between these hours, and you get the picture. This tells you your top five locales where your hits are coming from: the United States, the Russian Federation, the Ukraine. No surprise there, but you want to see a large number from the United States. This is host by IP. If you really want to know, you can track these IPs and see where they're coming from. That's more for your developer. Um, Bots and spiders. This shows you what's hitting your site. Different robots. Now this is good for one thing. You can see how your SEO is doing by what spiders are hitting you the most. So Googlebot, Yanks, Crawl, Unknown, but he doesn't do much. This should be your top 5 or 6 uh, search engine sites. Here is duration. Now this is good for an in-depth look at your pages. 0 to 30 seconds. You can see most of them hit and are gone. So he doesn't get a whole lot of people reading. 30 seconds to 2 minutes. So they're looking for something. He had 10 people in for a half hour. So I guess they were actually looking at something. But this is good for that, to see what pages people are going to, how long they're on a page, what your valuable pages, what aren't your valuable pages. File types, that's not of so much importance to you. Now downloads, he doesn't have any. But usually you will see in here, um, if you have PDFs like employment applications, white papers, any kind of giveaways, you'll find them here and you'll see how many times they've been hit or downloaded. And that gives you a good idea again, what's working on your site, what's not. You have a spreadsheet that's doing really good. You might want to keep it, maybe expand on it out into the socials. You have one that's doing really bad, you might want to just delete it and save some space. Page URLs, same thing. This gives you a good idea of what your most popular and most hit pages are. So here on his case, it's the payment page, the tree services page. He gets traffic to the blog. His tree FAQs gets quite a bit, and his property value. So if I was looking at it, that would be his top three right there. Tree services. People are looking for questions. A lot of storms this year. So that's a good idea to see what's going on there. Again, if you have pages that are way down here that nobody's looking at or reading, rethink them, delete them, change them. Operating systems. This is more for your web developers. What's hitting them. Now this is interesting because he has mostly a desktop site, but you can tell that by this list. Here, browsers. Google Chrome. This one's mostly a desktop site. Usually a lot of the mobile operating systems are on top now. That's good for your developers, and it's good for you if you're watching traffic. So, a lot of you still think there's people mainly going to the desktop, but if you look at your sites and look at your statistics, I bet the majority of you now are going to notice that the bulk of your traffic is coming from a mobile device. This here is where they're connecting from. Again, it's a good way to track your marketing and where you're spending it, and your SEO. Google, Bing, Google.com, Yandex. Also, if you're spending money on paid advertising, you should see there are links here. We have clients. You'll see Asheville.com, Explore Asheville, and that lets you know that the advertising that you're placing with those people is working and where to spend your money. They don't track search phrases and things so much anymore since how all that is being tracked is changed. And now we rely mostly on Google and things for that kind of stuff. Um, Miscellaneous, again, that's probably not real important to you. Status codes, not so much. It's good for your developers, especially if you have a lot of broken pages for some reason. It tells you how many and where. So that's it. That's a quick walk through your website statistics. It gives you a really wide view of what's going on. Combine it with your Google stats, and it's some very, very powerful information. If you have any questions, you want us to walk through your control panel with you, um, want any questions on how maybe to improve your site, feel free to give us a shout. Um, and remember, it's not what the web can do for you, but what you can do with the web. Chris Kaminsky, Ashevilleweb.host. You'll have a good evening.